Esther 3:11. And the king said to Haman, the money and the people are given to you. The money and people, resources, are given to Haman, to do with them as seems good to you. Do whatever you want with these treasures. So Haman wants to destroy the Jews and Mordecai. Then the king's scribes were called. Come here, scribes. On the 13th day of the first month. 13th day, first month. And the king said to Haman, the money and the people are given to you, to do with them as seems good to you. Then the king's scribes were called on the 13th day of the first month. Esther 3:12. And a decree was written, according to all that Haman commanded. Whatever Haman commanded was put into the decree. To the king's satraps, I'm not sure how to say that, a leader, to the governors who were over each province, to the officials of all the people, to every province according to its script. So a decree was sent out to each governor over each province. So I kind of do, here's Israel, China, Australia, Japan, England, I don't know. And a decree was written according to all that Haman commanded, to the king's satraps, to the governors who were over each province, to the officials of all people, to every province according to its script. Esther 3:13. In one day, destruction in one day, on the 13th day of the month, which is the month of Adar, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 12th month, which is the month of Adar, on the 13th day. So they'll destroy the Jews and plunder their possessions. Let's take their stuff. Jewelry, computers, I don't know. In one day, on the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month of Adar, and to plunder their possessions. Esther 3:14. A copy of the document was to be issued as law in every province. This is the law, kill and plunder, sent to all the provinces, being published for all people, that they should be ready for that day. Be prepared, everyone, for this day of destruction. The couriers went out, hastened by the king's command. We need to hurry. The king commanded it. A copy of the document was to be issued as law in every province, being published for all people, that they should be ready for that day. The couriers went out, hastened by the king's command. Esther 3:15. And the decree was proclaimed, the Jews will be destroyed. In Shushan the citadel, the fortress. So the king and Haman sat down to drink. King and Haman. But the city of Shushan was perplexed. What's happening? Perplexed people from the city of Shushan. What's going on? And the decree was proclaimed in Shushan the citadel. So the king and Haman sat down to drink, but the city of Shushan was perplexed, confused. Read a little bit more. Esther 4:1. When Mordecai learned all that had happened, Mordecai learned what happened. He tore his clothes. Mordecai tore his clothes in distress. Rip. And put on sackcloth and ashes. He put on sackcloth and ashes like dirt from a fire. And went out in the midst of the city. Went out into the middle of the city. When Mordecai learned all that had happened, he tore his clothes and put on sackcloth and ashes, and went out in the midst of the city. Esther 4:1. He cried out with a loud and bitter cry. Oh no. He went as far as the front of the king's gate, for no one might enter the king's gate clothed with sackcloth. No one in sackcloth can enter the king's gate, so don't go in there, Mordecai. And in every province where the king's command and decree arrived, there was great mourning among the Jews. When the decree arrived, there was great mourning, great sadness from the Jews, among the Jews. Death to the Jews. He cried out with a loud and bitter cry. He went as far as the front of the king's gate, for no one might enter the king's gate clothed with sackcloth. And in every province where the king's command and decree arrived, there was great mourning among the Jews. Esther 4:3. With fasting, no food, weeping, crying, and wailing. And many lay in sackcloth and ashes. I guess they just laid there. I don't know. With fasting, weeping, and wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes. So tomorrow Esther will get involved. A lot of things are going on.